Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Priti. I am a photographer based at Manchester here in the UK. If you are new here, you'll find weekly videos on photography related content, business and freelancing, and a little bit of travel. Today's video I'm going to share is based on how to price your photography prints. So when I first started out selling my I'm holding you guys up right now, selling my photography prints back in 2020 during the lockdown, I decided that I'm going to sell using Etsy. So that platform has been great for me, so I can only kind of give you my experience based on that. What I do in terms of driving traffic to that is I have like a link to my main website, which links directly to Etsy, but also on social media I do actively promote the store. Not too much though, but I let Etsy do the work because they have their own customer base. The payment gateway works really well for me as well, and I just knew that that was the right platform for me at the time. So that's what I've set up my print store on. So you'll have to figure out which platform you want to go with, but bar that sort of part of it, the next thing is figuring out the costing for your prints that you're going to sell to your customers. So a great way to do this, and this is exactly what I did, was research the pricing options. So on Etsy, for example, you can go and have a look at competitors' pricing on how much they're selling their prints for, just to get an idea of what the sort of base level price is. Say, for example, a smaller print, like if you're going for A4, A3, A2, etc., have a look, do some research on the pricing for those sizes. If you'll be advertising your listings as the images being in inches, then have a research into that to see what sort of pricing each of those prints are selling for. That's a great point. That's a great sort of baseline to start with. And then once you're kind of working backwards. So once you figured out a pricing, you need to then look at your distribution costs. So what I mean by that is, of course, when you are selling physical product, there's going to be the cost of print, the cost of shipping, the cost of the packaging, and things like that. So what you need to really do is sort of sit down, do research on how much it's going to cost to do all those things. And once you've kind of figured out those different elements, you can then price your print at a specific point. That means that you'll get your profit that you're aiming for, but also it's still affordable for the customer. You also need to figure out like who is your customer base. So for example, if you are looking to sell, if you're selling original photography prints, but you are selling them as actual art prints or fine art photography prints, generally speaking, from research that I've done, they are at a higher price point, because they do cost quite a bit more to create, because you'll more than likely outsource that to a professional printer. Not only that, but you may offer different paper types. So when I first started the print store, I offered Gisli prints, which I was super happy with. But then just this year, I've upgraded to bamboo paper and fine art pearl, and I'm kind of still trialing that to see how that goes. So research the quality of prints and your target customer. If you're looking to switch your photography prints into posters, for example, that's a whole different market, and it's not going to be as, you can still make a really good profit, because I know for sure, because I have some friends that do that. However, you need to ask yourself whether you want to be a person or a photographer that sells a lot of prints with lower profits, or whether you want to sell premium products, so like a fine art photography print, which, yes, it does cost a lot more to actually put together and send out. However, you'll probably be making a higher profit as well. So although you may not be selling as many perhaps, you'll still be making a nicer profit on lower numbers, which is basically what I aim to do with mine. I don't want to turn into like a machine just selling prints. And I love being able to check the print over and send it out rather than just drop shipping, for example. So yeah, you do need to figure out sort of like where your client is or your customer type is and kind of target towards that. That will come with practice as well. You'll get some things wrong perhaps. It doesn't happen overnight. It is a very trial and error sort of process, which I've also found. Although I've had the store for 2 years, I'm still making changes and figuring out like what my customer likes, changing the look of the store, the branding, the packaging and things like that. So it is always progress. There's always a lot of growing to do when it comes to selling physical products. And also there, you know, once you've kind of figured out what works for you, you can then keep replicating that on the platform that you're selling. Another thing to bear in mind is that depending on which platform you decide to sell your photography prints on, their clientele will be very different. So if you were to list your products on Etsy, then people are expecting to pay a bit more because it's a handmade, or is meant to be a handmade platform. Amazon Handmade, again, people will expect to pay a bit more because it's handmade. But if you were to perhaps list the same on eBay, you might find they won't sell as much because eBay is like a marketplace and generally people are looking for cheaper things. So yeah, have a think about the pricing regarding, you know, around what platforms you'll be selling on. What I'm going to do is switch it over to a video that I have created, which kind of shows you the workflow that I went through when I was first starting out. I'm going to show you how to do a bit of research on finding obviously a supplier for your prints if you're looking to go down the professional print route, and also looking at pricing options and just sort of like my input, I guess, on how I would price it and how I do price it. So do stick around for that. I'm going to loop it in on this video in a few seconds. If you found this video useful so far, then do hit the subscribe button. Any questions that you may have, list them down below. And yes, I'm going to loop you in another video now. Okay, so I have loaded up Loxley. So if you're still at the point where you're researching professional printers, you can literally just go to, obviously, Google professional photography printing. I'm going to base UK just because obviously I'm in the UK. And like I say, you'll have a lot of different options. A lot of these places will do like sample prints or test prints and that sort of thing. So it's an idea just to go on perhaps a few different websites, order some sample prints and see which ones you love the look of, and kind of take it from there, because if you're happy with your prints, of course your customers will be super happy with their prints as well. So you want to have a sort of look and feel of what works best for you and your store, whether that's on Etsy, whether it's on your website, however you want to cater it to your customer. So I actually have loaded Loxley's website. So I'm going to go onto products and then prints. So as you can see under the print options, there's photographic prints, Ghostly Fine Art, and they also do boxes. So I'm going to click onto Ghostly Fine Art prints. I actually got a sample from these guys, and I've actually switched to these guys recently. Absolutely love them. I've ordered personal prints from these, I do it quite often actually, and so I knew I was happy with the service, etc. And what you're basically doing when you're researching for your prints is figuring out, you know, the quality of the prints like I mentioned before. So straight away you can see that Loxley offer quite a few different options, which is great, and you can run through, you know, what you want to offer for your customer. So bamboo is natural, environmentally friendly paper, fine art pearl, bright white, the bright white matte finish, watercolor paper. So depending on the type of prints that you're selling as well, they will look different on different finishes. You don't have to overcomplicate it if you're very new to this. You can literally just go for Ghostly prints and see how you get on with that. They do offer packaging, but again, you'd have to incorporate that into your pricing if it is something that you would like to offer to your customer. So up here on the right, you can see there's an option for samples. Like I say, a lot of the printers will offer this, and you can just click through and figure out what samples you want, and then you can request them. There'll be like a small fee usually just to cover printing costs and delivery, but it's worth it for the long run, of course. And I'm going to go into pricing here. Oh gosh, I'm going to log in. I'll just see if I know. Should have done this before. Oh, here we go. Nice and easy. No, I don't want to save that. Okay, so let's print finishes. Here we go. Here at the bottom, you will get options for your pricing. So this, of course, on this website, these are all in inches, and then if you are selling different sort of formats or orientations, you've got square sizes, A sizes, production time. So when I first started the print store, I was offering A sizes, and just to go, I mean, I was using a different supplier for the A sizes, but just to give you an idea, and the A4 on this website is £7.34. So if I was to click on order now, it's going to obviously add it to my basket, etc. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to upload a picture from here. So the pricing that you're going off with regards to figuring out your cost of selling is obviously the price it's going to cost for the print, but also you can see here, so you've got different options: border size, print surface, etc. I'll just go for the basics for sample purposes, but £7.34, that's excluding VAT, so you need to add obviously that onto your pricing. Go onto here, and then if I tap on checkout or click on checkout, of course there's going to be delivery charges as well. So at the bottom, if I remove that one, there you go, £7.34, that's excluding VAT, so you need to work out your VAT depending on where you're ordering from, plus your delivery. So here we go. So based on that order, already it's jumped from £7.34 for the print. Shipping is £4.88 and VAT £2.44, so your total is £14.66. So of course, if it's costing £14.66 for one A4 print, then you need to be charging a lot more for your prints, depending on how much profit you want to make. So if you was to do A sizes on this sort of paper, you price it based on a premium product. However, you might find that if you were to go on a alternative website, you might get a different quote. So again, this is still A4, one copy, page, single-sided. I'll go for colour option, and you'll get different options. So 80, GSM, 120, 130. So depending on the thickness of the print, let's go for the most luxurious one. 2-day, let's calculate that. There you go. So per copy, it's £5.22. So that's inclusive of delivery, which is £3.49. So if you're offering a premium product, you are essentially selling for £14 something plus your profit that you need to make. Obviously count into fact that you're paying for your shipping to send it out to the customer, plus your packaging, etc. So you need to absorb those costs in your pricing, and then price it up at that sort of price. But that's on a different finish of paper, and a different company are selling it for £5.22 per print. And if you were to sell that for whatever you had in mind in terms of your pricing, after doing your pricing research, you might make more of a profit. but obviously it's a different quality of product. So I hope this makes sense to you in terms of getting the pricing together for your prints and the quality and catering to a specific type of customer. If you guys have got any questions at all, do leave a comment down below. I'll get back to you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you found this useful, and I will be back soon with another video.